Alright, grab your popcorn folks, because we've got a whole internet drama unfolding that includes gaming identity and extremely messy situation that escalated faster than a Call of Duty kill streak. So picture this, right? The gaming world is already tough for marginalized communities, but the black women who love gaming, yeah, they got hit with extra levels of difficulty. That's where the group of black women in Call of Duty comes in, founded by Tommy, Michelle, and All Gold Queen. This group was created to give black women a safe, drama-free space to game, compete, and let's be real, enjoy a simple 2v2 Call of Duty tournament with a $600 prize. Seems chill, right? Well, buckle up because things got complicated. Now notice how I just said this is a space for black women. Enters Becky Joe or Joo. Who's Becky, you may ask? Well, she's a British Twitch streamer.
Hey guys, I just made a Twitch. The link is in my bio. Please follow.
With 62,000 followers who decided she wanted in on this tournament. Nothing unusual there, right?
I mean, if you're gonna pretend to be black, you could have changed your name to Bianca and not left it as Becky.
But here's where things go sideways. Becky, who identifies as mixed race, was told she couldn't join the tournament because, in the organization's words, she presents as white. And that, my friend, sparks the ultimate internet firestorm.
Who's Twitch support, and they tagged Twitch support. They said, did you know that one of your partners, Becky Joe, falsely claimed to be a black woman to enter a black woman's gaming event with a cash prize hosted on your platform, then enabled racist and anti-black harassment toward the host and the space when she was denied. Then after Becky Joe had posted this long-winded tweet, she posted the screenshot, but she didn't say who it was from. Now the tweet goes as follows. It says that the criteria is black women. And the second tweet, it says the reality is that she, being Becky Joe, presents as white. This girl clearly has the privilege that a lot of us don't. She don't have to think about her race as a potential disadvantage or a source of discrimination. It's not fair, but our world is structured in a way that benefits people that look like her and not like me. So no, she's not allowed. And then that's when the tweet cuts off. And just from my observation, it sounds like the person in this text was actually a person who had something to do with the setting up of this Twitch event in the UK. And maybe the other person responding to this person in this text might be a representative for Becky, like an agent or a manager, basically trying to reach out to a Twitch representative as to why Becky was denied her entrance.
But Becky, who was pretty upset, took it to Twitter saying that she was being forced to prove her blackness just to compete. She even posted family pictures to show Caribbean heritage. Then even myself, I was like, that's why, because you get some mixed race people who look white and you won't tell at first look that they're mixed with some black. You know, it was given some Meghan Markle. Remember how we all found out she was biracial when she married into the royal family? Like, no offense, I was watching Suits thinking this whole time that was just another white actress. Then boom, wedding bells, and suddenly it's history in the making because black woman was joining the royal family. Wild times. But here's where it gets messy. Also don't forget about Logic, who never forgets to mention in his songs that he's biracial. Every song he does, every interview, every single tweet, he's like, hey guys, did you know I'm half black? And to the extent you can even say it's giving Andrew and Tristan Tate. They have the same parents, yet somehow Tristan Tate looks like he was made in a lab for European aristocrats. Like, genetics be wild. So initially I was willing to sympathize with Becky Joe because, let's be real, biracial people do go through a lot. Because to the black people you're not black enough, and to the white people you're not white enough. And I can somewhat relate to that because my mother is Indian, my father is Zanzi, and if you know Indian people, they are quite the racist people, okay? And then to my black people, they don't want to accept me either because I'm not black enough for them. It's like living in a racial limbo, and Twitter loves a good identity crisis discussion. People were ready to rally behind her until she fumbled the bag hard. Even I was there, like, they're doing my fellow mixed race sister dirty. So of course Becky didn't stop there. She went on to call the situation a form of discrimination, saying that the group was doing the same thing to her that they were supposedly fighting against. She even posted about growing up as a mixed race person and feeling like she never fit in anywhere.
Now enter Becky Joe. Becky Joe entered into the tournament and people had noticed, well, she's not black. And before she privated her tweets, she went ahead and said this. Now, in this long-winded tweet, thank God someone was able to capture it before she deleted it. She says, I don't tweet as it is, but never did I think I'd have to ever make a tweet like this. Having to prove if I'm black enough, and then being told that I'm not black enough to play in a tourney, which I think is like a Twitch journey or tournament, whatever you say. That is for black presenting women is insane. After sending my family pictures, by the way, that's next to my birth certificate validating this, which states mixed black and black Caribbean on it, by the way. My whole life I've experienced racism. Girl, why are you lying? Okay, her whole life she experienced racism. Then she goes on to say, but I've never experienced it from the black community. I'll tell you that. She said, being told I had it easy is effing disgusting, considering that I'm literally experiencing it right now. Growing up as a mixed race individual was not easy. Okay. Always feeling like we didn't fit in. And I think this today is proof of that. Now, after she had made this post, people were actually really focusing in on her being mixed white and black Caribbean, because then people were like, well, are you black?
I get it, I really do. Being a mixed race can come with its own struggles because, as we can all see, Becky doesn't at all look black or mixed. That's when things started getting messy. Becky started posting screenshots of DMs claiming she was told she was white passing and being mocked for her appearance. At first glance, it sounds pretty rough, right? But then, things got real messy. Becky didn't just vent her frustration. She got a little dramatic. She started riling all the other mixed races folks up, making it seem like this was some grand civil rights violation. Like, she pulled out the My Light Skin Brothers and Sister Unite speech, and that's when people started doing some digging and found out she's not actually black. And by that I mean not at all black.
She was questioned about her race, which, if we're being fair, it's understandable. It's not far-fetched to be like people asking, oh, you're black? Now, if you also saw in that screenshot, she also said that people were brain dead, saying, how do you present yourself as black? And there is ways to present yourself as black, but there's also ways you're perceived as black. For example, if I go outside, I'm perceived as black without having to try. However, if you are of mixed descent and you can easily be white passing, you will not be socially treated as black. People also don't understand that race is beyond your genetics. The world will treat you differently according to your optics. And that's genuinely how it is. When people talk about race being a social construct, this is what they're talking about. And a lot of people are refusing to acknowledge that because then they feel like it lessens their kind of talk within the conversation. You are still valid of your own experience as a mixed person, but it doesn't cross over into the black experience, especially because we're in the UK. In the UK, we literally have mixed race category. Like, being mixed is its own thing. We don't really do one drop rule. So when we now start trying to apply American race context to the UK, why are you doing that? We never do that. In South Africa, they have their own parameters of race, which they contextually use. Why are we trying to apply one drop rule here? That's not, we don't do that here. So even if you were trying to argue that, it's disingenuous. Your experience of blackness will be very different depending on how the world views you. And I need a lot of mixed race people to understand this. Just because you feel like you're not white enough for the white side, not black enough for the black side, that does not just make you have the same experience as a darker skinned black person. It's very different and it's very harmful to do that. And I think what makes this 10 times worse is when you look at all of her Twitter replies and Twitter retweets, she's really shown herself to be the white girl that a lot of the black people think she is. Let me show you the receipts. It's whatever, bro. That community is so fucking deluded. It's disheartening. The fact that you're able to say that's community because you can separate yourself from it is proving the point that people are making. How hard is that to see? And be able to say that community is so loaded, it's so nasty and so disrespectful. And it's just hilarious because you're literally proving the point. And this is why a lot of people then end up having internal conflict with mixed race people in black spaces, because your issues are inherently different than fully black people or people who are more, I guess, socially seen as black. Again, you're able to separate yourself. If I was in this position, do you think I'd be able to separate and be like, that community, I'm not a part of that community? So the same way you were able to pick up and say, yeah, I'm part of the black community for this tournament, and now you can put it down to be like, you lot's community, that is proving the point. I'm also going to read this one that she tweeted herself and reposted. It ain't about the tournament, boo. It's about light skins being told we don't fit in any type of criteria, the white or black, whilst my dad being 100% black and my mum being 100% white, as to why light-skinned mixed race people are mad right now, not being accepted within a community we're all meant to be a part of. Mixed race communities. You all can relate to one another. That is your community. I don't know why this is so confusing. I don't get why it's so hard, because if you inherently have different issues and have different things to talk about, come together. Like, what's not clicking? Her reposts, her replies are such a mess, and it is inherently perpetuating anti-blackness and a lot of kind of internal misogyny too. And misogynoir, let's be real. It's literally, the jokes write themselves. That's all I can say, is the jokes write themselves. I have a lot of close people to me who are biracial, and they are very clear to acknowledge that their existence and their experience as a biracial person, as a mixed person, is very different to what I experience and what other people experience. And that's fine.
Becky posted photos of her dad and grandparents as proof of her black heritage. One of the pictures looked like it was taken in 2007 with a flip phone. And no shade, but why was the lighting worse than 90s sitcom intro? Like, if you're gonna prove something, you gotta come in a little harder than that. And I don't even know what she was thinking, because that's when she made the ultimate mistake. She posted the picture of her grandparents, and let me tell you, the math was not mathy. Her grandparents look straight up Indian. Now, I'm not a genetics expert, but if your grandparents are Indian, I'm pretty sure your dad is Indian too. And that means, well, where's the black? It's missing. It's non-existent even. Gone like my will to argue with the people online. So now the internet started asking the real questions. If your grandparents are Indian, your father is Indian, your mother is white, how exactly are you black? Sis pulled out the Uno reverse card on logic itself. Like, why was she so determined to be part of a black woman's event? What did she gain from it? Because if we're all talking about representation, she's clearly representing something else entirely. Now let's pause for a second before anyone gets a little touchy-feely about it being a full-on black women's tournament. This idea for creating a exclusive space for certain community isn't new. There are LGBTQ plus spaces for even left-handed people, I assume, maybe, I don't know, and even spaces for other cultural groups. People create these spaces to uplift their own communities, and that's fine in my opinion. So why is it a problem when black women who are already marginalized in the gaming world want a space for themselves? This isn't about excluding or oppression. It's about creating a place where you can exist without being attacked. Let's give a huge shout out to these women for carving out a space where black women can escape the usual toxicity of the gaming world. If you've ever been in a voice chat and heard the racist, sexist comments, you would know that creating a safe space isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity. And that's exactly what black women in Call of Duty want to provide. A place where they could have fun without being judged or harassed. And here's the thing, this wasn't about Becky being mixed. It wasn't even about her race, really. It was about the fact that Becky looks white, and we've all seen it before, right? The whole who's black enough debate. This isn't just an issue in the black community. It happens across different racial and cultural lines. People argue about who represents a group the right way. And honestly, it always ends up a mess. So by her trying to black pass without even being black or half black or even 25% black, really takes things a step back in conversation. Because like I said, she was out here riling up the community, and many of these mixed people were on her side before they realized she was out here lying, or maybe she was just confused. But I'm unsure how Indian and black would get mixed up, because it's pretty different things and cultures as well that comes into play when it comes to race. But back to Becky's little rant. So after this drama spiraled, the organization actually said, fine, you can join the next tournament. But Becky was already too deep in her Twitter tirade to accept that. Instead of backing down, she doubled down, and of course the internet trolls came out in full force. Becky's post about the situation turned into a battleground, and guess what? She let the trolls loose, and Becky, she just decided to private all of her accounts like she didn't throw the match that started the entire fire. And for the life of me, I don't understand why she even wanted to be in the tournament that badly, because if she was doing this for clout or just to make people angry, I don't think she would have private her account and should have like played along with people and made them all riled up as well. But at this point, the whole situation became embarrassing. She really tried to make this about discrimination, when in reality she was just trying to force herself into a group that she doesn't belong to. And let's be real, if she was applying for a job, do you think she's marketing black on the application? Because Twitter seems to think otherwise. Now, here's what confuses me. Why do white passing biracial people always fight to be identified as black, but never fight to be white? Like, have you ever seen someone aggressively argue to be recognized as white? No, exactly. When you look at a visibly black person, there's no room for debate. You see the features, the hair, the skin tone, and you just know. But when someone looks like Becky Joe, it's a whole debate. And it's weird because she's clearly trying to convince us of something that just doesn't align with reality. It's almost like she's gaslighting herself. And listen, I get it. Race is complicated. Identity is complicated. But you know what's not complicated? Knowing whether or not you're actually black. Like, just look at your family tree. If anyone in your lineage is giving South Asian and European, then sis, you got your answer. But hey, let's open this up for discussion. When you look at someone like Becky Joe or Meghan Markle or Amber Rose, are they really black? Are they representing black culture, or are they just riding a wave when it benefits them? And before you come for me, I'm just asking the questions. And wait, before I end this, I just remembered that here in South Africa, we actually had a black woman convinced that she was actually white. I'm gonna add a small clip of it. You can go check it out for yourself, but it actually ended up on the news, and it was a big joke. No one took offense to it, obviously, right?
When did you realize that you were actually a white person trapped in a black person's body?
It's literally since I was born. I've always known it, because even when I cried as a baby, I didn't cry loud like an African child. I cried sort of softly and more quiet like a European child.
But I thought I'll just share a little something from South Africa, since that's where I'm based, if you guys didn't know. I always try and mention something here and there in my videos, hence the accent, because I'm here in South Africa. So if you enjoy my content, do not forget to subscribe, like this video, and check out some of my other videos. I'm on the road to 4,000 subscribers. I'm still trying to get into the partnership so I can make some US dollars and convert it to rands, because here we're struggling, you know, unemployment rate more than 50%. So give me a like and subscribe, because I'll highly appreciate your support. Until the next, peace.